Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is a remake of the show I did earlier because I failed to hit the record button, and I thought the information that I provided and that I talked about today was valuable. I wanted to get it up on YouTube. So what I've done is take the recording that I made from another network, add it to this, and I'm going to be showing you pictures here. My lips won't be moving. It'll be my voice. It is me doing the show, but it was done about an hour or two earlier. And I'm going to be showing you some of the books, some of the films that I have made over the last 20 years, and I'm going to be asking you to buy them. I'm asking you to order them. Now, these, I'm just showing you the pictures. The information is up on my website, freeamerican.com. You can read about the fiction books, you can read about, and you can see some of the films. You can order them. The way you do it, the way you order is simply send me an email or make a phone call and send me the money via PayPal as a donation. So, without further ado, that's right, blinded by the lies. Blinded by the lies.
Like the sky, your spirit is one with me. Your wings span the mighty ocean. Your eyes see everything. The slightest of your motions can make the continents ring. Yet in all your mighty glory vanished from the skies, leaving just another story.
This is a magazine I've been publishing for almost 20 years, folks.
They tell us how you fell from the sky.
Alright, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Free American Hour. I'm your host, Clay Douglas. Now, I just played a song as we were coming up. I do that for talk shows. And I got a little film clip that I want to share with you from 1963. I was just a kid sitting around watching Captain Kirk on Star Trek, and they kind of came out with the whole story of the New World Order back in 1963. And I've been fighting this battle for a long time. I sat and watched just like all the other Americans out there, and I had 2 or 3 companies. I had a nice boat out in Biscayne Bay in Miami. Spent a lot of time out there. Read the paper every morning and thought I knew everything. I watched Katie Couric, Brian Gumbel, Home Today Show. It was cool. We had speedboats. We had anything we wanted. And then I saw what happened. I sat and watched it on TV, and being a Texan in Miami, I was pissed. Where's the Texas Rangers? Where's the Sheriff Department? Where's the DPS? What the hell's going on here? Why are they letting them do that? Why are they doing that? Where's the reporters? I'm just looking on the press. All the thing the press is doing is just taking what they hand them. Here, this is yeah, we had to do this because they were jobless. Right? They were selling guns. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. That's how they made a living. I was upset. And I started the Free American, and I started the militias, and I've been demonized ever since. Demonized ever since. Good morning. Hang on. Oops.
Blog Talk Radio.
Coming up, doing our.
And now we're in a pickle. We're having tough times.
What's happening right now over in Japan? I mean, here's this beautiful production.
Wintertime, if you use the green.
Cutting edge. Lisa Majors. Welcome.
No. Wait a minute here.
Blog Talk Radio.
Million of man-made lies.
Is that were in touch with each other, and they had a pretty noble motives of just making communities run smoothly.
Okay, hold on a minute. I gotta find this. Again, we lost it. Bear with me for just a second. The book you're looking at is my book. It has my life story in it, my history in it, pretty much. It's not all about me. It's not all about me. It's about the drug dealing, the espionage, the homeland security, and all of the machinations that have gone on against me to silence me, folks. To silence me.
Blog Talk Radio.
Kinds of places in the mental health homes. Taylor story. I sat and watched just like all
Here we go.
American chapter. And I had 2 or 3 companies. I had a nice boat out in Biscayne Bay in Miami. Spent a lot of time out there. Read the paper every morning and thought I knew everything. I watched Katie Couric, Brian Gumbel on the Today Show. That was cool. We had speedboats. We had anything we wanted. Anything we wanted. And then I saw what happened. I sat and watched it on TV, and being a Texan in Miami, I was pissed. Where's the Texas Rangers? Where's the Sheriff Department? Where's the DPS? What the hell's going on here? Why are they letting them do that? Why are they doing that? Where's the reporters? I'm just looking on the press. The only thing the press is doing is just taking what they hand them. Here, this is yeah, we had to do this because they were jobless. Right? They were selling guns. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. That's how they made a living.
This one's set in Miami.
And I started the Free American, and I started the militias, and I've been demonized ever since. Demonized ever since. Recently, I've just got an article, by the way, out about the whole Donna Taylor story, the Mark Taylor story. I've been working on that for about a month. I finished the article, and it is now on Veterans Today. If you go to Veterans Today, Columbine tragedy compounded. Clay Douglas. It's up there. That's going out to 400,000 subscribers, folks. Why? Because a long time ago, I looked at my wife and I said, I will never sit back and watch something like that happen again on television and not do anything about it. And what's even worse, folks, because of the control of the media, the real tragedies like Donna Taylor's, like Mark Taylor's, is not being televised. This revolution is not being televised. I got a story up here. And I think, not meaning to toot my own horn anymore, but I think I captured the situation pretty well. It's up on the website. I'll let you. I'm not going to get into that. But we are reaching people. And maybe it's strange. I said I've been demonized for 20 years. And that's okay. That's kind of what I do. So I expect that. I know that we're in war. And I'm in the battle. I took an oath to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And there's a lot of domestic enemies, but most of the people out there are simply unconscious. They don't know. Now, when I started talking about Donna Taylor and started talking about Mark, I started talking to a bunch of motorcycle riders here. And I'm not going to mention names because nobody needs to be embarrassed over this. But one woman worked for the mental health department. They got down on me because they don't put people, she says, they don't put people in those kinds of places, in the mental health homes and the mental facilities, if they don't need it. And I've been to your website, I'm not very happy. I don't like you very much. You're not telling both sides of the story. Well, you know what? I do tell both sides of the story when I can get it. And the mental health facilities would not call me back. They would not call me back. So I couldn't do that. But I contacted this group. And let's see, this is the way she put it. Actually, one-sided reporting of the issue. I guess you missed the part where I used to work as an advocate for people just like this man, whatever. And no, I'm not a liberal in the least, but I am two-dimensional and prefer to see both sides when you only present one. Now, show me the reports from the doctors and the nurses, and then I can make an informed decision. And what, but it deteriorates. It deteriorates. She accuses me of being a radical, and I call that. I think that is calling me a name. I don't think I'm a radical. And so, but all this is now was this, did this woman just not care what was happening? All of the information there, the statements of the mother and all that. Yeah, you're damn right. I was taking the mother's side of it. Damn right I was. Just like I took the side of the Branch Davidians, just like I took the side of Randy Weaver, just like I took the side of Shirley Allen. Remember Shirley Allen from Roby Ridge, Roby, Illinois, where they had her trapped in her house, shooting her with rubber bullets? I was there. I talked to the police. I talked to the people on the lawn. And the point is that we made a difference. We made a difference with Randy Weaver. Why was Bo Greitz sent in to bring him out? Because the the Montana militia and people from all around Idaho had the FBI encircled. And they were getting real nervous about it. So they had to bring it to an end. When I showed up in Roby, Illinois, I lectured the police. You should be the ones that take food to that woman, not shooting her with rubber bullets. Maybe I made a difference. Now, up to the present, I didn't let this woman's criticism or dislike of me or my website or this radio show, what I do here, I didn't let that affect me. It affected the group she was in because they, obviously, they're being influenced by a person. And basically, they did the same thing to the whole American people at 9/11. They had one guy, one moron, that came up to the camera, and they gave him a full camera shot, and he said, yeah, I saw the whole thing, man. The planes flew into the building, and ooh, the explosion was tremendous, and the fire went out, and the fire was so hot at the top of that building that the bottom of the building collapsed. They bought it. They bought it. The American people bought it. And we went to war over that. Now, this group, these motorcycle riders, it ain't no big deal. It ain't no big deal. They're trying to do something, and I honestly respect that and wish them all the best. Wish them all the best. Would love to have been a part of it. Would love to be a part of it. Man, maybe I am a part of it. I don't know. But one bicker, and it's just like these trolls in the chat rooms. Yeah, well, Clay, you're not doing much, huh? Not doing much. And I've been thinking about that for a few days. Now, the story that I have in Veterans Today, and let me share that with you on the chat room, on the talk rooms. The story I got in Veterans Today went in yesterday. It went in yesterday. And so somewhere out there today, there are hundreds of thousands of people that are hearing, reading, researching the information about Mark Taylor. Mark Taylor was the first student shot at Columbine. He was shot 7 times. Bullets barely missed vital organs, and one remains embedded in his body near his spine. Mark and his mother, Donna Taylor, believed that the actions of the shooters, Dylan Klebold and Eric Harrison, were directly related to the antidepressant pharmaceuticals they were being given. Mark appeared in the film Bowling at Columbine by Michael Moore. Moore used him in a publicity campaign to force ClayMarch to stop selling ammunition in Colorado. Shamefully, Moore paid Mark nothing for his involvement. Miraculously, he made a full recovery, went on a book tour, testified before the FDA, and was interviewed on numerous television broadcasts. Attorney John DeCamp handled a lawsuit against the pharmaceutical companies and won a small settlement that wound up going somewhere other than the hands of Donna and Mark Taylor. As an investigative reporter for 20 years, I rarely get involved in the personal lives of the people I interview. I can identify with and relate with compassion to the stories of Randy Weaver, the survivors and families of the Waco Massacre, whom I've interviewed. But the injustice in this case is so great, so similar to that which they tried to do to me personally that I had to get involved. I only hope that my skill of writing this article is sufficient to create that same urge in you to get involved and stop a runaway government and rogue medical establishment. Pages of my magazine and the hours of my radio show have been devoted to telling the stories of people victimized by governments and these corporate fascistic forces. The Browns, Lynn Meredith, Irwin Schiff, Randy Weaver. Most of these stories have occurred in the past and recounted with proper respect and consideration for the victims. A couple of them are included in this article that I put up to let you know that if you fail to get involved, if you fail to get outraged and proactive, the same thing could be happening to you and your family. Next, when they came for the Unionists, I said nothing. When they came for the Jews, I said nothing. Come on, folks. Now, this has been the case with Columbine and Mark Taylor. It happened over 10 years ago. Mark wrote a book about his experience, shared his thoughts with millions of people through Michael Moore's movie Magic. He was shot and laid there for 2 hours with bullets whizzing around him while he was bleeding from nearly a dozen bullet wounds. Some bullets remain embedded in his spine near his aorta because of the way bullets ravaged Mark's body. It's impossible for the surgeon to count the wounds. The estimated bullet count ranges from 8 to 13. Miraculously, he had a full recovery, went on a book tour, testified before the FDA, and was interviewed on numerous television broadcasts. But the real nightmare for Mark and his mother was just beginning. He was lucky, but he was also vocal, outspoken, and unafraid. His involvement with Michael Moore may have had a positive effect on our understanding of Columbine as a whole. According to Howard Pankratz of the Denver Post, in 2006, Mark Taylor is a living miracle. Despite the trauma of the years in the past, Mark Taylor still vividly remembers the day he was shot as many as 13 times outside Columbine High School. On Tuesday, Mark recalls standing outside the school enjoying a nice spring day with friends when a bullet slammed into his legs. In the next second, he saw a bullet slam into the face of a friend, and then he felt several bullets rip into his own chest. I was stunned, he said. I wasn't quite sure what had happened. I could see out of the side of my eyes the gunman go over and shoot Rachel Scott. Taylor wants to be a pastor, and a book he's written has spiritual overtones. It's called I Asked, God Answered, a Columbine Miracle. Taylor, now 22, recalls the horror of that day and a recovery that required multiple surgeries, the initial hospital stay of 2 months, and the anguish of having tubes thrust down his throat, tubes placed in his side. The horror of what I went through in the hospital I can't even put into words, said Taylor, who was shot by Eric Harris on April 20th, 1999. But the book is about forgiveness. He has forgiven shooters, Harris and Dylan Klebold. and their families. He has talked to gang members and Vietnam veterans about forgiveness. He says he especially remembers the Vietnam vets who spent 30 years blaming the government for the friends they lost. Some of them have thanked him for the message. After hearing me on forgiveness and healing, it was able to help them. That's staff writer, Denver Post, Howard Panitch. But on the 10th anniversary of the Columbine shooting, Mark and Donna Taylor gave an interview that marks shocking decline after being forcibly hospitalized and treated with the psychiatric drugs that he testified against. After the interview with Howard, Mark used to be coherent, give television interviews, and able to drive himself, and suddenly he's in a very disconcerted, almost robot, zombie-like state. Now, once more, Mark has been illegally detained and drugged. This time for over a year, he's been declared an incapacitated person. Why? Mark has been illegally imprisoned and the state of Arizona is violating so many of Donna and Mark's constitutional rights, it's almost unbelievable. I've included a statement in this story of Donna Taylor's. It's comprehensive. It'll give you all the available details on her and Mark's situation. But what is happening to them is happening to many of the people I've interviewed, known personally in one form or another, and it happened to me. Seems like recently my guests have been dropping like flies or flies on a flypaper or a spider's web. Edgar Seal, the controversial attorney, author of Defensive Racism, suffered a heart attack, and then after being on my show was arrested on a bogus charge of hiring a hitman to kill his wife. You see, Mark's case, unfortunately, is not unique, other than his status as a Columbine survivor. The list is endless and the methods vary little. Recently, I interviewed an old friend, Paul Pantone, who was taken in much the same way as Mark Taylor, held for 3.5 years in a mental institution because he refused to sign over the patents on his Geek device. I've known Paul for over 25 years. He's one of the sanest people I know. It took the combined efforts of thousands of people across the U.S. to finally free him from that prison. After nearly 3.5 years of incarceration, Paul was released on May 12, 2009, 30 years to the day since he began his career as an inventor. And it started his invention, folks. He started showing it to people sitting in the back of my Bronco. We'd go into a service station, take some waste oil, pour it in the gas tank, and the motor would run. He was put in a mental institution because of that. Well, he's out now, sore over his teeth. He had a foot injury, dental issue that went neglected. And these things appear to have been used as a form of indirect torture. They would not administer antibiotics, pain relief, or other medication unless he would take the psychotropic drugs. Now, what they've been feeding Mark Taylor is psychotropic drugs. Haldol is what they fed him. Now, I'm not going to go back into what I've personally been through in the last 7 years. I say in the article, I put that all in my book, Mystery Babylon. And all you got to do to buy Mystery Babylon is send me $20 and I'll send you a book. I'll send you a book. Because you need to read that. It's the whole story of all of this. How the drug companies are working with the government, how the drugs, illegal drugs, and the pharmaceutical companies, they're the bad guys here, folks. Now, what happened to Mark? Is that reason? Is that revenge for the Taylor's lawsuits against the pharmaceutical companies? Are Mark's statements, books, and interviews about the Columbine tragedy being caused by the Neds of Klebold and Harris Road? Or was this just business as usual in our medical and legal establishments? My accident on May 20th, 2004 was purposeful. Whether that is purposeful or not is immaterial. And unfortunately, I didn't get all of that. but
Actually, I did.
okay.
And folks,
Too bad I missed that.
nope, I didn't miss it. I got it now. And folks, you can order this book. I need you to order this book. I need you to tell your friends.